Hey guys, it's Judy at the Autumn Acorn Knits. Just stopping in quickly to do an impromptu podcast at my daughter's house right now. And as a lot of you may know from Instagram, she just had a baby. So little Blake Violet was born on Wednesday, and she weighed 6 pounds, 7 ounces. She's 19 inches long. She's beautiful. She looks just like Charlie did when she was a baby. And she is so tiny. Like, you know how they lose weight when they are first born? So she is at the doctor's right now with her mommy and daddy, and I am home watching Charlie. And I just put Charlie down for a nap. Of course, I don't have my tripod, so the camera's sort of just leaning up against the windowsill. I tried to set something up with Charlie's toys and it just didn't work out. But anyway, I thought it would be fun just to stop in and say hi and maybe show you some of my unfinished projects that I have that are kind of like have been in timeout, and then show you a couple of other things. I don't have any finished objects with me, but I do have a big finished object back in New Hampshire, back at home, that I'll show you when I do an official podcast. But anyway, I hope you guys are all doing okay with what's going on right now in the world. I have been, Joe and I were quarantining ourselves a week before a lot of people started, and just knowing that I'd be coming down here to help out after the baby was born. So Joe stayed home because he does have underlying risk factors, and I came down. I did not go to the hospital. That would be too risky, and they were only really allowing one visitor anyway, so that was Daddy. But it was great because I got to stay here with Charlie and just help her along with the transition, and she so far adores her baby sister, calls it her baby, and she's really sweet and gentle, like we expected, because she's always just sweet and gentle. Where do I want to start? So let's start with this work in progress. This is a new design I'm working on, a crochet design. I did a little contest on Instagram that I just showed like a little peek of this, and then I said, for anyone who guesses what I'm making, the correct answer, they'll win a free pattern from my shop. So there were a lot of people that entered, but only I think 5, maybe 6 got it right, and they guessed a spring or summer tee. So if anyone said like spring or summer tee or top, then I gave it to them. Oh, by the way, this is the sweet bag that my dear friend Amelia made me, and I've shown you this one before. She is Milas Sweet Makes on Etsy. This pillow just doesn't want to leave me alone. So anyway, also in my little bag, I have my very favorite essential oil, Stress Away. It is the best smell. It is always my favorite calming oil. But it's a blend of many. Oh, it's so yummy. It was my very first favorite oil, and it remains my favorite oil. Oh, also, something sad just happened. I sat on my glasses. Now, that wouldn't be a really big deal normally, but look, I only brought one pair with me. I brought one pair, and I don't really want to go to the store. Like when I did go to the store once. I was so careful, like wipes on the cart handle and tons of sanitizer, whatever you call that stuff that we're all living on right now. And I was just so careful. In fact, they even had like red tape, so you couldn't go any further ahead in line until that person left, and then you could go past the red line. So they're trying to take all the precautions that they can as we get through this. But I am pretty blind, so I'm still here until Saturday. I have another, 5 days? So we'll see what I can do. I don't know. Anyway, back This is some, first of all, this is some yarn that I naturally dyed using Brazil wood. And I think it's a really pretty, it's washing out. I don't have my lighting either, so this is all just natural lighting. But this, I'm holding it upside down, I think, yeah. This is the back of the top. This will be a very simple lacy top. I'm not sure if it's going to have sleeves or not. I won't know until I finish, but it might. Anyway, this is where I am on the second part, the front. Only I have just run out of yarn. So what you're seeing here, these two, is 600 yards or 150 grams of this was a merino. This was actually a sock yarn. So it's a very thin fingering weight. And I just love the drape of it. I think it's going to be a really feminine and elegant top that I'm going to enjoy wearing. Oh, and did I mention that it's crochet? I have no idea if I did. I've been on a bit of a crochet kick. Also, can you make out the little bits and pops of darker pink in this? I'm not sure if you can see them, but they make me so happy every time I come across one. So I can't finish this until I get back to back home. And I've just noticed that there's the hook. So without my glasses, I'm gonna try to read this. It looks like a 5mm hook, an H8, I believe. Maybe you could read it better than I can. I really enjoyed this because it was pretty mindless once you got going on the lace, pretty mindless. Then I told you about the shawl that I was knitting for my daughter who just had the baby, Kelly, who I thought it would be a good nursing cover. And she is nursing every 2 hours. So like that literally is all she's doing right now is nursing, sleeping and eating. And then her daddy and I and her sister-in-law and brother-in-law are all taking care of her. So I haven't gotten that much further on it, but a bit. So I would say since I came here, I definitely did all of this part. And I have my really pretty little lava bead that I put essential oils on to help keep me calm. And I've been needing a lot more of those lately with what's been going on. So I have felt, I don't know, very vulnerable, as I'm sure many of you have. I mean, I certainly don't have the underlying conditions that many have, but I do have pretty severe hypertension. And I just found out that I am, I think I told you, pre-diabetic. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that. But anyway, I really love, this is my own design, and it's called the Bubbling Brook Shawl. This pattern was released last year at some point, I think. My memory's not that good, but yeah, I'm really happy with it. This yarn here was hand dyed by me using black walnut, and I love how that color comes out. I love dyeing with black walnut. These creamier colors were some organic cotton, and some of them are organic wool. They're just a mixture of different yarns. There's this one, nice cream color. And I haven't added this one yet, but I am excited to. It's a pretty kind of a, I don't know, it's like two strands or two colors put together. So that I think will really tie in nicely with the rest of the colors. So the funny thing is, I actually had this out, not really thinking the other day, and Kelly came out and said, "Oh, what is that? That's so pretty." And I'm just like, "Oh, it's just a shawl I'm making, you know." So she doesn't know that it's intended for her. this. All I could do today was just like put it back real tight because it was frizzing everywhere. What else? Well, I guess I should have told you, and I think I just told you that I was knitting this. It's crochet. I tell you, I'm on a crochet kick. This is not knit. No. Can you tell? That is crochet. It's pretty obvious, right? And then I am using, so it's fingering weight yarn and 5.5 millimeter I9 is the hook. So this one's a bit bigger than the one for my spring top. I'm hoping and trying. I'm going to work on this one every evening after the kiddos get to bed. And I'm going to try to have this finished so I can leave it with Kelly when I go back home on Saturday. Next is something, this has been a work in progress for a while, as you probably will remember because I showed you. This is the Charlie dress, again, another one of my designs, but unfinished. And this dress is made using mini skeins. I believe it takes 5 or 6. Oops, hold on, I hear Charlie. I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. I'm back and Charlie is fine. She just dropped something. So I brought the monitor in here just in case. So if you hear her or if you hear that sound of her sound machine, that's what it is. So anyway, Charlie's dress, knit using mini skeins. These are all hand dyed by me, the Autumn Acorn yarns. I'm not going to remember all the colors now. I do remember this one is Ballerina Girl, and I think this one might be Inchworm. But I can't remember. This is Calla Lily for sure, and something berry maybe. Anyway, I am at the part where I have to do the Latvian braid next, so that will be coming up. And if you haven't seen a picture of the Charlie dress, I will show it to you. There it is. Hope you could see that. And here's one of the little skeins of like a dark pink and a light pink. And what am I using? Let me check my needle size with my crazy broken glasses here. Whoops. This isn't going to be easy. No idea. Sorry. I mean, they look like around a US 7, but I don't remember. So these are in my little tiny chicken bag. I think this was, yeah, a steady hand. Super cute little pattern. It says knit, purl, seed, basket weave, waffle, stitch, garter, rib, all kinds of knitting words on it, and it has a super handy arm. So you could knit and walk like that, very much. Then, still another unfinished project that I brought, hoping that I would be able to finish it. And it's in my wonderful mushroom bag, which I adore. And this is also one of my own inventions or designs, or it's not probably never going to become a pattern, but I really was trying to make some ribbed leggings for Charlie, and they would have elastic at the top and fold over. I'm using a really pretty yarn that I dyed naturally. I think, I do not remember what I used on this. It could have been black walnut with madder root. but it turned out, I doubt you'll be able to make out the different specks of color in there, but it is something else. It's really, really cool how it variates like that, or variegates, or there's variants. And these are in my little, oh, here's the elastic. So I have plans, and then I love this tape measure so much. It says the Autumn Acorn. And then I made this little scissor cozy I've shown you before with some vintage fabric that my cousin gave me. And then I just made this design up too. It was simple with some wool felt, and then inside are these really pretty fancy scissors. So fits in really nicely. Simple, folds down and you button it. You tie that string around the button. So these needles are my little wooden ones that I enjoy, little bamboo needles. US 2.75 millimeters, so those are pretty small but I wanted them to be so that they'd be nice and warm. So at the rate I'm going, maybe these will be done for her for this fall, and that would be really nice. See, the best part is I can just keep going on the length, because when I started making them, she was about this tall, and now she's got another like this much. So that's been fun. The last thing I want to show you is the beginning of my second Frost Fairy jacket. So right now I showed you the cream version, but it wasn't finished. It is finished now, but I didn't remember to bring it, and I should have. And it is being test knit. I have 10 really awesome test knitters right now that have been given the first half of the pattern, and I think all of them have already finished that part except for me. And again, I only ended up getting way behind. Let's see if she's sleeping yet. She is just settling down with her stuffed animals. So this is my second Frost Fairy jacket that I have begun, and I am using some really beautiful yarn by Peace Fleece. See all those colors in there? So gorgeous. It's like tweed. It is tweed, I guess. I didn't know it when I ordered it. I thought it was all just this kind of cranberry color, but when I got it, I was pleasantly surprised. So I have 4 more skeins. Peace Fleece recently changed their label. It's nice though, I like it. This is the color Amaranth, and it is a worsted weight. I call this a heavy worsted. I'm telling my testers to use a heavy worsted or a Aran weight, or even maybe 2 strands of sport weight, or a strand, you could use a strand of DK and maybe a strand of mohair, because this yarn is blended with mohair. But there are some really beautiful colors being test knit right now. I'm so excited. There are some being test knit in Letlopi Icelandic wool, which I think is going to be an amazing warm coat. But this is all I have so far on the raglan. We ran into some problems with the numbers, so I had to do math until my head hurt. Hope you can see that. Using my Knitter's Pride needles in size, let me put on my monocle, spectacles, what are they? US 7, and surprisingly and happily, my needles haven't broke yet, because I seem to break all of my Knitter's Pride needles at some time or another. Covered in dog hair right now. My daughter has a dog who sheds, so you deal with it. And I also have in here my little tin that I decorated with tape so that I could put, keep some of my little, or my bigger stitch markers. And then I also have, these are the teeny tiny ones that I keep in there. And the Frost Fairy jacket, I will show you a picture of what it looks like when it's done. It is a beautiful warm jacket with an I-cord going through the collar. There are instructions that give you the option of a hood if you'd rather, or you don't even, you could do a large collar, a short collar, doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm excited to finish that up. I have had very little time to do any knitting. I mean, you could imagine, you know, there's a lot going on with a toddler and a newborn and all the adjustments that means, and then it's just a lot. So once I get back, I will need a vacation just to rest up for sure. But speaking of that, before I left, I ordered a big batch of undyed yarn so that I can get back to my natural dyeing. I'm so excited. The snow is finally gone in New Hampshire, as it has been here in Connecticut for a while. But ours just left. There's still some piles, but in the shady areas of the yard, but most of it's gone. So I can get to the hose and I can just be, you know, comfortable enough outside, because I do all my dyeing in the barn and I don't want to turn on the heat if I don't have to. It seems like a waste of energy. So I will get back to that when I get back. And then I'm going to have another surprise. There's something else that I'll be ordering and putting up for sale. Right now there's so little yarn in the shop. It has all been sold, most of it. But there are some skeins left. Is she awake again? I'll be right back. Back again. Okay, where was I have no idea. Oh, I was telling you about something else that I'm going to be offering in the shop that I'm excited to do, and on yarn. Is that it? I think so. I hope you guys have all been doing really well. I know this was short and there were some interruptions, but I'm still really happy that I got to touch base. I've been enjoying this new podcast to me, Little Drops of Wonderful. And that's been really, really fun to watch at night before I go to bed. She has like so many episodes though, podcast episodes and vlogs, that it's going to take me a while. Usually I can binge watch a podcast in a week or two, but this one, this one might take me a couple of months actually, but I'm really enjoying it. And Allie is her name, the host. I bet a lot of you know of her podcast already. And she lives just south of London in the UK, and she's just a joy. She's got 2 daughters and a husband, and she's just a lot of fun. And she does a lot of beautiful crochet and knitting patterns. So yeah, that's it. I will talk to you guys soon. I'll try to get another episode up next week when I get back to New Hampshire. Bye.